What's going on, guys? Well, I have another knife review. Today we're talking about this knife. This is a knife that was sent to me to check out. It's made by a company called Manker. And from the best of my knowledge, this was a company that came out with a flashlight first, then later came out with this little knife. Pretty interesting little design here. Alright, badass little knife. Certainly unique. First off, let me show you the packaging real quick it came in. So the knife was tucked in this little box. Alright, and some paperwork came with it. It goes in this like little box here. There's a tray, had a little pull tab there, and of course our cardboard outside. Okay, as you can see from the picture there, this is called the Elfin. The Manker Elfin. Pretty unique little knife. This is a little 1.5 inch blade, and the blade steel in this is an S35VN, which is one of my favorites. Alright, came razor sharp, and our handle here is a titanium handle. Alright, 1.5 ounces. It is a Framelock, although the website says it's a liner lock. Not exactly sure why. See that heavy detent. It's actually a little ceramic ball detent on this one. And this knife is actually a little flipper, as you can see from the piece here sticking out. Pops out super fast. My one issue with this knife is it is a little uncomfortable. Alright, the flipper itself has no jimping or anything, and because the whole design here is kind of mechanical, robotic, you know, I don't know, industrial looking. I understand that there's pretty sharp lines for the flipper. So, you know, visually it makes sense, but as far as actually, you know, flipping this out, although it shoots out lightning fast, sometimes when I'm going to flip it out, I don't get a good grip on it and I get that kind of half flip. All right, let me see if I can show it to you. Something like that. Okay, let's say it slips off. You get the half flip. There's no, you know, studs or any kind of design on the blade that allows me to open it further other than, you know, just touching the blade. So with all flippers, I do prefer some kind of backup method to open the blade without having to touch it and get fingerprints all over it. Not a huge deal, but, you know, of course, worth mentioning here. But also because of the size, I mean, it's such a small knife, it's kind of weird. You have to kind of do a little pinch grip here and get just the right angle. And as you can see, I rest this on the palm, but of course, when you're doing that, you don't want to make sure that tip doesn't grab the skin there. So it's just, I have to be careful when opening it. Okay, so I have to kind of rest it like that, and then I can use the flipper and get a good positive opening on it. Does lock up rock solid. Okay, no blade play in any direction at all. All right, if I show you the back of the blade here, you can see that kind of hook pattern. And of course, there is an integrated blade stop in this. All right, so once that locks in, I mean, it does lock in nice and firm. All right, as far as the centering on here, it is perfectly centered. Okay, this is machined very nicely. Besides the flipper, again, I mean, you can't really pinch that blade because the detent's so heavy. So the only way to open it is to use the flipper. Yeah, I mean, interesting design. It is very well machined. The tolerances are very tight on this one. All right, here's the lockup. Now you can see there is a screw here, and it's hard to tell, but there is a separate lock bar, okay, integrated into that. Pretty interesting. Large lanyard slot, let's call it, which you might have to use. Now, if you see, there's no pocket clip on this. All right, and as far as I know, there's no pocket clip available at all. So this is not something, I mean, it's small anyway, but it's not something you're gonna be able to clip anywhere. So your two options, how I see it, is either throw a lanyard on here and throw it in the pocket, or just throw it in the pocket as is. And the other option would be as a keychain knife. It is small enough, of course, to be able to pop this on the keychain. Any keys would easily be able to fit that on there. All right, but this is not a cheap knife. Okay, they sell these for 80 bucks. Now, $80 keychain knife, that's a little extreme. I don't think, or most people, I should say, don't have $80 hanging off their keys. Although there's certainly exceptions to that rule. There's a lot of gearheads that have $150 lanyard bead, you know, so it takes all kinds. This is definitely something that's not going to be for everyone, especially since it's just so small and the actual design is limiting. But it's damn cool, and I have to say, it is really well made. Like I said, the S35VN steel on this blade is really superb. Very high quality, of course, titanium on our handles again. So let's take a closer look at that blade. Very happy to see that it is not chisel grounds, which would be very tempting for such a small, simple knife. But no, traditional V-grind on our blade. Quite an extreme angle change there. It's about a 45-degree angle. All right, I see our secondary point there. Seems to be flat ground as well. Pretty interesting, very sharp, very purposeful. The one thing I noticed mostly is that when this is open, although it's small, you get a great grip on this because of that flipper becoming a guard and the cutout here for the finger choil. Now, it's not the most comfortable because it's not like a fluent, natural, round curvature. We have a very abrupt, you know, kind of extreme angles there, but the finger really, really locks in. Okay, so very nice grip there. Also in the reverse grip, if for some reason you felt the need to stab with this, you could do so with some confidence and not worry about it closing on you. A little bit of jimping on the back here. Really not sure why, to be honest. Your thumb, I mean, if there's any jimping, it really should be here. This portion doesn't really even touch the hand that much, you know, when grabbing this and using it. Most times I'm not really locking in my finger. I'm kind of doing a quick cut with this because obviously because of its size, it's you know, tasks you're to use this for is limited. You're not going to use this generally for heavy cutting. So a lot of times I'm doing kind of like a little pinch grip here, quick little slice here and there. So the jimping on here, although it feels great, I never use it for anything. I don't see why it's specifically there, but hey, it is what it is. But it is machined very nicely. Like I said, my only real issue with this knife is the flipper shape is a little uncomfortable and a little bit difficult to use. But you know, I got to getting used to this one. Pretty interesting. I mean, you know, obviously for $20 with maybe AUS 8 or some 440C and some, you know, stainless handles, that'd be a whole different bowl of wax, and more people would be interested. But at $80 with some premium materials here, it is kind of limiting on the you know, the market of who's going to be buying something like this. As a keychain knife, you know, not a lot of people are going to get that as a keychain knife. You have to be kind of the higher tier of gearhead to be able to fork over that kind of money for something like this. But I have to say, though, it's not all novelty. There is form and function here. Okay, it does work, and the materials, like I said, are very premium, so I could see why the price tag is what it is. Personally, I would never buy a knife like this just because of the price tag, but I can certainly appreciate one. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Give you another couple shots of this up close. It does have a stonewash finish on the blade, very light stonewash. But again, Manker, I mean, totally new to me. I love getting exposed to new companies, new gear and stuff. It looks like they only have this one knife right now, but they also have an interesting flashlight too, which you may see a video in the future. It does look you know, kind of promising. So I might check that out as well. But anyway, there's your knife, the Manker Elfin. Yet another option for a extremely small but high quality little pocket knife. You know, variety is the spice of life, and there's not a whole lot of knives out there that are offering what this one's offering. So yeah, if you happen to have this knife, please post down in the comments what you think of yours. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.